Welcome to the Social Bee podcast with your host, Louise Brogan. Every week, Louise will be bringing you a podcast all about women entrepreneurs, talking about their challenges, their goals, and inspiring you to either start your own business or grow the business you have. Visit www.socialbni.com to join our community and pick up some lovely freebies to start marketing your business online today.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Linking In with Louise podcast. And today I want to talk to you about the fears that people have around using LinkedIn. But before we get started, I want to talk to you a little bit about this morning. So this morning I was working with a law firm here in Belfast. We were working one-to-one inside a law firm in Belfast. And I was scrolling through the feed because quite often when I'm working with somebody, you can talk about how to write somebody's profile and you can explain how to build out your LinkedIn profile. But actually, when you look at somebody else's profile, it's easier to point out, here's what I would do here, and here's maybe I would edit this part here. And it was amazing to me how few good, well thought out or actually filled out profiles we could find for people working within the law. And it's not just people who work in law. Of course it's not. It's lots of different professions and industries. And I kind of wanted to touch on that before we get started, because when you go, so say I go onto LinkedIn and I'm looking for a specialist in a particular area of the law, and I find somebody based on whatever their profile says, their headline said, I look into their profile, and not only have they not written an about section that appeals to me, quite a lot of them hadn't written any about section at all. So I was literally relying on their headline and their previous experience and their job title. So I think there's still a lot of room for improvement for people using LinkedIn. People who come to my workshops, and I've run 2 full workshops in Belfast in the last couple of weeks. One was for Business First Online, and that was a mixture of different people from different industries and different backgrounds. And then this week I ran a workshop, How to Use LinkedIn for Business, for the Law Society here in Belfast. And I had 8 people from different law firms from around the country. Some people were lawyer owners of the business, of a small, what they called provincial businesses. Others where there was a partner from a larger firm. There was 2 people who were legal secretaries within firms. So really good, I have to say, a really enjoyable group to work with, actually. And if any of them are listening in, I really did enjoy working through the whole workshop. It was about both workshops were about 3 hours long. And you run out of time with all the questions, and you could talk all day about how to raise your profile on LinkedIn and how the kinds of posts you can put on there and all the questions that people have around it. So very enjoyable sessions, but just surprising how few people are actually creating and filling out their entire profile on LinkedIn. And I think that is something that if you want help with that, please do reach out, because I can help you with that. For some people, they don't have the time or the inclination to write it out themselves. And I get that. And that's why I've begun to offer a LinkedIn profile writing service. If you want to know more about that, just drop me a line, louise@socialbni.com, or connect with me on LinkedIn. But really super sessions out working, talking face to face with people in the last couple of weeks, which is something I really enjoy doing. So anyway, it also gives me great opportunities to talk to people about why they aren't using LinkedIn or why they haven't really got into LinkedIn yet. And there's lots of different reasons. A few of the reasons are, well, I'll tell you some of the reasons. So one of the reasons is that people have been put off LinkedIn because they say you go on there and you're just getting contacted by recruiters all the time. I'm talking about people who have been in a company for 10 years. very happy, possibly they're in the senior management of that company, no inclination to move whatsoever, and are getting contacted by recruitment agencies all the time. Now, if you work in recruitment, surely there's a way to find out if somebody actually is thinking about leaving their job rather than just firing out your message at anybody and everybody. I did work in recruitment at an agency. I think when I was in Dundee, I went to Dundee University in 92, 96. I think I did a very brief spell inside a recruitment agency. I think it was a Deco, potentially. I can't remember now. Obviously wasn't the career for me. But anyway, so one of the things that puts people off using LinkedIn is they think that they're going to be contacted by recruiters all the time. The next reason I hear people saying they aren't using LinkedIn, or why they've come along to my LinkedIn workshop and haven't really got a LinkedIn profile, is their boss or their manager has told them they need to get on board and start using LinkedIn. So they come along to my workshops kind of under duress. And that was certainly true of at least 3 of the people at the workshop this week. They were like, and I win them over. They're there kind of reluctantly. They've been told they really need to go and learn how to use LinkedIn. And someone said, look, you should go to this workshop. And I always check in with them at the end and see, have I won you over? Are you going to give it a go? And the answer so far has always been yes. So, which makes me happy that I'm able to convert somebody into actually wanting to try out using this platform. Whether they keep using it or not without me there to encourage them is another thing. But when you have someone coming to your class who is not just reluctant to look at the LinkedIn platform, but actually quite anti the thought of it, and they leave and you say, have I convinced you? And they say, yes, well, yeah, a little bit. I'm going to give it a go. I mean, that's me winning. That's me winning at business, I think. Of course, there's other people in the class who leave and they're all guns blazing and they're all delighted and off they go. But you definitely take, I think other coaches would say this too, or other trainers, that it's the person who came into the room at the start who just didn't really want to be there, who you can convert into a happy customer at the end of the day. Those are the ones that really send you home pleased that your work is done for the day. So the other reasons people are not using LinkedIn, and that's what I want to talk about today, is a fear of using LinkedIn. And that fear is, it could be they are concerned that they think they might have had a LinkedIn profile, but they think, I'm not going to put anything on here for fear of looking stupid. They don't know what to say. They don't know how they're going to come across. They're literally looking at the screen and they're completely frozen because they don't know what is even the point. Some of these people will, rather than do nothing, they will just share other people's articles. Or what I see most of all is people who go onto LinkedIn, scroll through the feed and click like on other people's posts, but never actually say anything, and therefore don't actually raise their visibility very much at all. So I posted on LinkedIn to ask other people what they thought about this, and I'll just read out the post because I got some really great comments and review and messages about this. So this week I'm recording a podcast to help people with their fears of posting on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear from you if this resonates, or if you used to have a fear of posting but you got over it. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. Let's discuss. So hilariously, when I first wrote this post, I realized that the people that I really wanted to hear from are too scared to post anything on LinkedIn, and therefore they wouldn't actually respond to my question. That's why I was talking to the people in the workshops about this as well and getting their feedback on it. But here's some of the things that people said. So Aaron Watson, who is a telephone on hold marketing, voiceover, audio branding, media professional here in Belfast. And if you check out Aaron on LinkedIn, he does really quite entertaining videos quite regularly. So he said, I was terrified I wouldn't come across as professional. Worried I'd lose existing clients. I was encouraged just to be me and to do it. Took me months to take the leap. I just watched for a long time. So I think a lot of you could resonate with Aaron. And then he goes on to say he doesn't know what's happened to him since, because now he's got almost comedy videos that he's posting on LinkedIn. But I think that's true for a lot of people. So people will just look at other posts and think, oh, maybe I could talk about something like that. Or, oh, well, look, he's talking about this. Maybe I could do something like that. So they're lurking on the platform and reading other people's posts, trying to get the nerve up about what to say. I would say that you don't need to go straight for the video like Aaron. Although if video is your thing, then do it. But you're not writing your posts for the people who are your peers. And I mean, if you are a lawyer or a solicitor, you're not writing your post for your fellow solicitors. You're writing your posts for your potential clients. So don't worry if you're writing, you think that it doesn't sound highbrow enough. You're not writing it for those people. You're writing it for somebody who doesn't really understand anything about how the law works. So say another example would be if you are an HR professional, say maybe an entrepreneur who freelances or contracts in for 5 hours a week with one company on HR, 5 hours a week with another company. You're not writing about HR and why you need an HR professional in your small business for the HR professionals. You're writing it for the people who make the decisions about whether or not they need to bring in an HR professional. You may be writing it for the managing director. You may be writing it for the executive assistant. So who don't know the ins and outs and the nitty gritty of particular HR policies. So you're not going to write about those HR policies in great depth. You might write about the fact that it's a good idea to have an HR policy in your business, but that's completely different to talking about, here's why you should say this and why you shouldn't say that about in your policy. That's not who you're writing to, okay? So step one in getting over your fears of posting on LinkedIn is stop worrying about what your colleagues and peers think about what it is that you're saying on there. If you're on LinkedIn to win clients and to win customers over or to connect with customers, you're writing it for those people, and that is who you should be thinking about when you're writing your post or making your video. Okay, so the next person who left a comment was Andrew Shepherd, who is the regional sales manager at seemehired.com, who in fact just launched their new website this week, I believe. So Andrew came along to one of my LinkedIn breakfasts in Belfast, and Andrew said, "Great idea, Louise. I certainly at times doubt myself before I post. I agree with the previous comments. You just have to take the leap. I definitely become more confident every time I post." And this is the thing. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Once you start posting and you realize that the walls won't crumble down around you, and maybe one of your network comments on it, and you think, oh yeah, I can do this actually, and you get more into it, and you develop a strategy around how you're going to post on LinkedIn. And that's something that I can help you with. What do I actually want to write about? Who am I trying to reach? What am I trying to say? And kind of bullet point out the things that you can talk about on LinkedIn, and plan it all out in advance so you're prepared as well. You're not just getting up and firing anything out on there. You're actually planning what you want to say. But what I did say to Andrew was, Andrew came along to my LinkedIn breakfast, and I call it the LinkedIn breakfast, meeting the people behind the profiles. So the very fact that Andrew came along and met the other 9 or 10 people that came to my last event meant that when he posted, I'm going to comment on it. And the other people that he met at that breakfast who are now in his network and connected to him have met him in real life. They've got to know him a little bit, and therefore they're going to comment on his stuff, because, we all rise by lifting others, and meeting people in real life and then connecting with them online. You're going to support them and what they're doing and what they're trying to do online. So good job, Andrew, and hope the new website is going well. Then Alex Curtis, who is the host of the